Right. There's a method that you go around doing cleaning generally, and there's a method that I would do when I'm cleaning a house. Now, a lot of cleaners start at the top and work down, and that's because dirt falls. But when you're doing it to a time, which is what I do and most cleaners do, you do it in order of priority. For example, if I go to someone's house and I've got 3 hours, I'm going to start in the kitchen or the bathroom, because then people are going to be furious. If I run out of time and I've decobwebbed their spare bedroom and it's immaculate and haven't cleaned their bathroom or their loo, they're going to be furious. So when I'm doing it, I always clean. I do instructions. So if they've left a note that says, "Can you please?" I do that. I do the loo. I do the kitchen. I render, and then I do kind of in order of priority. And I've usually got in the back of my head, running round, that it's all right. I did pull those wardrobes out last month, so I can leave those. Haven't pulled that bed out for a couple of months. I'll pull the bed out. So I've kind of got their house on a bit of a rotation in my head anyway, and I'll try to keep that going. Now, if I'm cleaning a whole house, say my house, you start off this when you do individual rooms. You always start with getting rid of the rubbish. Just get rid of the rubbish. And if you're doing a whole house, if you know you have got stamina and you will complete the whole house, do it for the whole house. If you are not 100% sure you have got the stamina and the time to complete the whole house, do it room by room. Rubbish. All the rubbish in a bin, get the bin out. Empty the bins, get rid of the rubbish. Then you go around and you collar everything that's dirty. Dirty crockery first, load the dishwasher, put it into soak to be washing up, stack it neatly by the sink, get rid of that first. Dirty laundry, stick a wash on, sort the laundry, put it ready to go, because you can continue to do that while you're cleaning the room. You know, you keep half an ear out. When the machine finishes, whop a load out into a basket, chuck it on the line, another load in, go back to what you were doing. Do that. Once you've done that, you tidy. You get a damp cloth in your hand, in your bowl of soapy water, that's what you'll be using to clean the room, and you tidy up. Things that have migrated from other rooms, put them back in their room, or just put them in a heap at the bottom of the stairs to go upstairs. Put everything away that belongs in the room. Pick up books, put them neatly, put them on shelves, put books that are stacked that way, they look so much better, honestly. Do it with the hoover in your hand and the cloth, because obviously you don't want to put, for example, you don't want to pick up a pile of books on the coffee table and put them onto a shelf when the shelf is dusty, so you just wipe it, put the books back, jobs are good. And tidy up, put everything where it should be, so the room is in the condition that it should be, and then you clean. And you start at the top with your damp cloth, you dust, you work your way down with your damp cloth, keep dipping it into the bowl, rinse the dust off, wring the cloth out nearly dry, wipe, get your fingerprints off the paintwork as you go, wash the windows, squeegee them off, wipe the windowsill down, work top to bottom, because gravity exists and it just makes your life easier. The very last thing you do is the floor. Vacuum it, take your damp cloth round the edge. If it's a carpet, you put the cloth over your fingers and go down between the skirting board and that. Make sure you take the cloth to the skirting board while you're doing it. Give it a vacuum. If it's a hard floor, then you vacuum to get the dust up, and then you mop yourself out so that you don't walk on your damp floor. And then you'd repeat that in various rooms. And like I said, if I was doing a whole house, I would still, to be fair, start, because once you've cleaned a room, you can close the door and you don't have to go in it again. You can leave it. And like I said, I'd start with the priority. It's really important you get the areas that are heavily used and very untidy under control, because they take the longest as well, and they're the hardest. Whereas when you go into something like a spare bedroom, it's probably tidy. It probably just needs the dust wiping off and a good vacuum to get it back to order, and it doesn't take as much energy. And when you start cleaning, you've got lots of energy and you feel full of it. By the time you've done several rooms, you're not as energetic as you were. So sit down, have a snack, have a sandwich, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea, and get going. But if you start with the dirty stuff and work to the cleaner stuff, you will find it easier, and your results will be better. And also, like I said, if you don't think you're going to do the whole thing, start with the stuff that really needs it. And if at the end of the day you have to leave the spare room, that's just a bit dusty until next week, well, you have to leave the spare room till next week. At least people have got somewhere clean and comfortable to sit down. But yeah, so it kind of depends what your objective is, really.